Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Yana Kasperczak coming into you live from Ontario of Canada as your certified professional performance coach and spiritual awakening core energy coach. It has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from the mental prison you find yourself in and build a life, business, and or a career that you're not only proud of, but actually excited to wake up to every single day. And on Tuesdays, I do story time with myself, Yana Kasperczak, where I share a story that most of you, if not all of you, will find relatable in one way or another. And today's story is about struggling with the body image that women go through. And in this day and age, it is so scary for women who have daughters to see what these young girls are struggling with, but it also does start with the mothers. So today's story is going to be from Emma, and the names I change. The stories I share are from women that I have worked with or continue to work with. And Emma's story, which AKA is not her name, but this name Emma is something that every woman can relate to, and her story especially. And I have it written out so it makes it nice and smooth and easy, digestible of a story. So you can hear yourself in the story, and I wouldn't be a coach if I didn't share a tip or two or trick or two to help you on your journey with such a story, such a struggle that you might be dealing with when it comes to your body and the image that you have of your body. And interestingly enough, today's sacred circle was the meditation that I did was a body image meditation, which aligned with all of our lives and journeys where we have been going through or with. Okay, so Emma, a 35-year-old mother of two, she has always struggled with her body image. Growing up, she was constantly bombarded with messages about the ideal female body from magazines, TV shows, and even family members. Her mother, who was always dieting and commenting on her own weight, would often say things like, "You should watch what you eat. You don't want to get fat." These comments, coupled and combined with relentless media portrayal of thin women as the epitome of beauty, deeply influenced Emma's perception of her body. As a teenager, Emma developed a habit of comparing herself to the images she saw in magazines and on social media. She tried various diets, often feeling guilty and ashamed when she couldn't stick to them. Her self-worth became tied to her weight and to her appearance, leading to periods of depression and anxiety. Her turning point was that after the birth of her second child, Emma's body changed in ways she could no longer ignore. She felt disconnected from her own body, struggling with extra weight and dealing with stretch marks. One day, while scrolling through social media, she stumbled upon a post of a body positivity influencer who spoke about loving oneself regardless of the size or shape. This image and this message resonated with them, sparking a desire for change. And this is where she said yes to changing her life and hiring me at that point, among other things that she was doing on her own as well, that helped her to change her life in more ways than just one. So the thought that I want to share with you before I continue with her recovery journey is the part where trying various diets. How many of you have tried different diets and you either couldn't stick to them or they just simply did not work? How many of you have gone through this yo-yo of dieting, losing, and then gaining, losing and then gaining? When we change the language that we're using, such as lose weight, the reason why you find the weight back and then some is because a lot of it has to do with the language. Lost and found, hide and seek games. When you want to lose the weight, you don't want to lose anything because it makes you feel emptier, feels like you lost something. So then you go and you find the weight back. But when you reduce your weight, then that weight stays off. But all of it is connected to a lifestyle. And lifestyle is a mindset. That's why all of us have a different lifestyle. And when you look at the lifestyle, what you really start to uncover is the mindset that is attached to that lifestyle. An athlete has a specific mindset, which is attached to the lifestyle, and the lifestyle that is attached to the mindset. Everything is connected, and everything leads back to the mindset because this is where we exist. We exist in our mind, and if you take yourself out of your mind and you leave yourself elsewhere, you simply don't exist. You don't live there. And that's why no one knows or understands who you truly are, because who you are is inside here. And everybody understands and thinks and believes and has a perception of who they believe you are based on themselves and their limited understanding of themselves and of you. So here's her recovery and healing journey. First thing she did is with seeking support. Emma joined my coaching, and part of that was a support group where women were all, even though their focus was not on their health and wellness, it was on the mindset, or it was on the money story, or it was a lifestyle, whatever the different things that everybody came to this community for. In the end, everything that one woman was growing through and healing through and from was connected to another. What that one was healing and growing through and overcoming was connected to another and another and another. And yet each and every one was connected. So having a support group is actually important. It's more important than we believe up until this point. Some of you have already experienced that, so you know what difference it makes. But the difference is literally night and day. This whole message that we're receiving from the world, and especially from the socials, be independent, rely on yourself, you get your shit together on your own, and you do these things on your own, it's all bullshit. We grew up in communities, we were raised in communities, in tribes. You had one child who was raised by multiple generations and not just the mother. And this whole isolation is really what has also been playing a major part in our mental health. Having a support group in a community is extremely valuable. and helpful in more ways than just one. There's a reason why I created the group Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women, that now we as a community are growing together. There's a reason why we have the Sacred Circle every Tuesday, and women come to this circle every Tuesday. There's a reason why these things are in place. There's a reason why there was a 21-day challenge created for women to help them tap into that inner peace and understand themselves. There's a reason why all of these things will continue, because of what support and the community and the tribe they build around this small little tool of women that come together that adds so much more than what this little tool is. So for Emma, she joined my coaching, the group coaching that I had, where there was a group in the community specifically for women that were together in this coaching, struggling with their body image that she was struggling with. Here in this community, she found a safe space. The word safe is key, to share her feelings and her stories that were similar to everybody else's. This community provided her with emotional support and helped her realize she was not alone. And it wasn't just about her body image, it was so much more. Even as a mother, as a new mother, there was so much more that others were bringing to the table, that she was learning from them and sharing knowledge and experience and stories. She also had a therapist. She started seeing a therapist specializing in body image and self-esteem issues. Through therapy, Emma began to uncover the deep-seated beliefs and about her body that stemmed from her upbringing and societal influences. Her therapist helped her challenge these beliefs and develop healthier ways of thinking. And similar things she was experiencing in the coaching community and the group, because when women would bring up what they were dealing and going through, it was challenging her and her stories and her experiences, and it was influencing her choices and her decisions going forward. She was educating herself. That's the third thing that she did. She read books, attended workshops, took some courses and classes and programs, not just the ones that I offer or we offer at Empathy Unicorn Academy. She did things outside as well, because there is so much power in variety in doing different things, and but not overdoing it, right? So this is another reason why she had me as a coach, to make sure that it wasn't too much, that she was still balancing herself, her life, her career, and her family. She learned about the harmful effects of diet culture. She started to learn the difference between food and food products, and the importance of embracing all body types. I know we talked about the blueprint, and just to give you the blueprint in a nutshell is, if you don't feel right in your body, then you're not living in your blueprint. We are all meant to be in different shapes, sizes, and if you're not feeling comfortable where you are, if you're not loving it, that means that you're not living in your blueprint. You're living in somebody else's. And then also she started to learn the importance of embracing all body types, especially her own. The knowledge empowered her to reject unrealistic standards and unrealistic standards that she had internalized unconsciously. She started to understand the difference between conscious and unconscious. And also, the next one is mindful eating and exercise, being mindful and being aware in the present moment, checking herself instead of dieting. Why is it that the only species on this planet that diet and don't have a diet, don't believe they have a diet, are humans. While all the other species have a diet. It just makes us more confused, doesn't it? So Emma adopted a mindful eating approach. She listened to her body's hunger and fullness cues, choosing foods that made her feel good physically and emotionally, especially. She stopped her emotional eating. She also found joy in movement. She didn't just do exercise, she became exercise. But what exercise was to her was not the same as it was for other women in the group. Everybody had different understanding what exercise was to them. Exercise is just body in motion, being active, moving around. For one, it was dance. For another, it was gardening. For another, it was walking. For another, it was jogging. For another, it was weightlifting. For another, it was just constantly cleaning and then also dancing, just changing things up. And everyone found joy in their own choices of the lifestyle. It's a massive part of the lifestyle. She engaged in activities like yoga and dancing that made her feel connected to her body rather than punishing it. Because to her, exercise, going to the gym, felt like it was a punishment. So if it feels like a punishment, don't do it. What brings you happiness and joy? And do that. That is your form of exercise. If today it's gardening, you know the positions that you would get into when you're gardening? Some people can't get into them. Go and do that gardening. Don't feel bad. The fifth thing she did was positive affirmations. Emma started practicing positive affirmations, repeating phrases like, I am worthy and beautiful just as I am. Over time, these affirmations helped shift her mindset and improve her self-esteem. One of the other things that Emma was doing was just listening to affirmations throughout the day without having to repeat them or think about them, just listening and allowing that subconscious to become programmed while she's conscious and doing other things or unconsciously doing other things. Our subconscious is so powerful, and if you want to reprogram it, you got to put that information in. And you have to put a lot more of the positive information in to get rid of that tiny little negative information that is in your subconscious. She did a media detox. And I like to remind everyone, think about the social media or the TVs or the things that you are essentially addicted to. Think of your addictions. Why is the word detox used? The word detox is used for addicts with alcohol, with drugs, with substances, and then now with social media detox. Think about the addictions that it's creating within you. This external validation or affirmation that you get from social media that is causing you to feel a certain way. And then when you're off social media, how do you feel? I went through this deprogramming and understanding what social media does and has effects. And I have learned to be the one in control and in charge and not feel like I'm being used by social media. And it sounds simple, yet it's not. It's a muscle that each and every one of us can train. And it really starts with understanding how you feel and catching yourself in a moment that when you're feeling not like yourself when you're on socials, you jump off of it and you don't use it. And you spend as much time as you need to understanding yourself and what's coming up for you and healing those parts that are coming up for you. For me, it was months at a time when I would not be on social media. And it was challenging because then how do you build your business when it's not on social media? There's a will, there's a way. But I learned a lot about myself, and this is how I became in control. And not feeling like I had to share and I had to do things. Every time they had to came through, I ain't doing it. No, thank you. So Emma unfollowed social media accounts that promoted unrealistic body standards and surrounded herself with body positive content. This change in her media consumption helped reduce the constant comparison and negativity. In other words, she cleaned up her newsfeed, and her newsfeed became something that was actually feeding her and not taking her apart, right? Something that was rebuilding her and not destroying her. Her newsfeed became anabolic and not catabolic. And in each and every one of you can do that. And I actually recommend cleaning up your newsfeed. And a lot of it has to do with the things that you're watching and listening and paying attention on, pausing on, and things that you're sharing, and things that are also being shared with you. If you don't want to see that on your newsfeed, don't consume it. Move past it. She realized that she was the biggest role model for her children, just like her mother was. She made conscious effort to be a positive role model for her children. She stopped making negative comments about her own body and encouraged healthy attitudes towards food and exercise. She wanted to break the cycle of body dissatisfaction and promote self-love and acceptance. So the outcome, as you can imagine, is that today Emma feels more at peace with her body than ever before. Whenever she's triggered, because once in a while, she, just like any one of us, can still get triggered and find ourselves in this compareritis, comparing ourselves. She learned how to deal with it in a healthy way. And she learned how to appreciate her body for what it is and what it can do rather than how it looks. She was no longer obsessed with the number on the scale because she understood that that is just a distraction. That is not the goal. Her journey of self-acceptance has been challenging but rewarding, allowing her to reclaim her own self-worth and live a more fulfilled life. Emma's story is a testament to the power of support, education, self-love, discipline, and the discipline is the ultimate act of self-love, and her self-comparison in overcoming body image struggles. By addressing the root causes of her insecurities and actively working towards healing, she transformed her relationship with her body, herself, and all of the relationships in her life have changed. So that's just one story, but this one story is a story of many, many, many women. I would love to hear, how did you relate, or how did you find yourself relating to Emma's story? And that was the first question. The second question is, what is your biggest takeaway from your realization and your relatability to Emma's story? And the third question is, what are you going to do about it today and continue doing every single day to help you with your own body image struggles? And the fourth question is, when something gets in the way, because that's part of life, what are you going to do about it? So that is all that I want to share with each and every one of you today. Thank you, thank you, thank you for listening, for tuning in. I could see people on here, but I don't see the comments on my phone. I will respond to it later on. Thank you for all the live viewers. Thank you for all the replay watchers and all of you who are new or watching this video for the first time, or my videos for the first time. Say hey, especially if you watched up until the end. That means that there's something in this for you and there was some kind of a connection. So say hey. Feel free to let me know where you're from as well. But otherwise, we will see each other tomorrow live on Heal the Unicorn podcast that Bethany and I do in our Facebook group, Heal the Unicorn, Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women. So if you want to tune into the podcast and you want to check out the community, see if this is the support group or community or tribe you have been looking for, come and check it out, see if it's for you. And if not, no hard feelings whatsoever. Keep looking for a place that feels comfortable and safe for you, because you will find it. It will come to you. It will find you, or you will find it. Otherwise, we'll see each other either tomorrow or next Tuesday at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time for another one of these story time with myself, Yana Kasperczak, where I bring a story to you from one of my clients or even from myself. Until next time, have an amazing rest of your day. Thanks for watching. Bye.